Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome to our hometown, Elkhart, Indiana, the Vice President of the United States and the Second Lady, Mike and Karen Pence.
Well, hello, Indiana. It is great for Karen and me to be back home again. And I want to say thank you to Curtis Hill, a son of Elkhart, Indiana, for doing a great job as Attorney General for the state of Indiana. And it really is great. It is really great to be here with a friend of mine. The man Indiana voted overwhelmingly to make the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump. You know, I'm here today because I stand with President Trump. And I'm here because we stand with all the great conservative leaders from Indiana who've supported our agenda, like Senator Todd Young, Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, Congressman Larry Bouchon, Jim Banks, and Congressman Todd Rokita. Give them all a big round of applause, will you? And my fellow Hoosiers, we're here because now that the primary is over, President Trump and I want Hoosiers to know, we also stand with the next great United States Senator from the state of Indiana, Mike Braun. You know, it's the greatest privilege of my life to serve as Vice President to President Trump. He's a man of his word. He's a man of action. And how about all the action this week? This president took action on Iran. We saw progress on North Korea, and the new American embassy will open in Jerusalem, the capital of the state of Israel, on Monday. You know, what the world saw this week is an American president who embraces his role as leader of the free world. It's true. President Trump withdrew the United States from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal. He slapped sanctions on that leading state sponsor of terrorism. And early this morning, I stood on the tarmac of Andrews Air Force Base as President Trump welcomed 3 brave Americans back from captivity in North Korea. I'll never forget it. It was humbling for me to be there. And it never would have happened without the strong, clear, resolute leadership of President Donald Trump on the world stage. But you know, it's not just this past week. The truth is, the only way you can describe this administration over the past 16 months is with 4 words: promises made and promises kept. I mean, think about it. Think about it. President Trump promised to rebuild our military, restore the arsenal of democracy, and not long ago, he signed the largest investment in our national defense since the days of Ronald Reagan. This president promised to take the fight to terrorists on our terms, on their soil. And thanks to the courage of our armed forces and the leadership of this commander-in-chief, ISIS is on the run. Their caliphate has crumbled. U.S. coalition just captured 5 of their most wanted, and we will soon drive them out of existence once and for all. And here at home, President Trump promised to stand with those who serve on the thin blue line of law enforcement. And every day of this administration, we have worked to give our law enforcement personnel the resources, the tools, and the respect that they deserve every single day. Done. And our president promised to enforce our laws and secure our borders. He's already signed the biggest funding increase for border security in nearly a decade. He sent the National Guard to the southern border, and this president secured funding for the first 100 miles of a new border wall. I'll promise you, when it comes to that wall, we're going to build it all. And this president has also stood for all the God-given liberties enshrined in the Constitution of the United States, like the Second Amendment and the unalienable right to life. He promised to appoint strong conservatives to our federal courts at every level. And last year, President Trump set a record for the most Court of Appeals judges confirmed in a single year, and he put Justice Neil Gorsuch on the Supreme Court of the United States. It's been promises made and promises kept, my fellow Hoosiers. And since day one, this president's also been keeping his promise to get this economy moving again. He promised to roll back the heavy hand of government. President Trump has signed more laws cutting federal red tape than any president in American history. He promised to unleash American energy. We approved the Keystone and Dakota pipelines. We rolled back the Clean Power Plan. And President Trump put America first when he withdrew the United States from the Paris Climate Accord. And this president promised to crack down on unfair trade practices. And I can tell you, President Trump's been fighting every day for trade deals that are free, fair, and reciprocal and put American jobs and American workers first. And finally, our president promised to cut taxes across the board. And with the strong support of every Republican in Congress from Indiana, President Donald Trump signed the largest tax cuts and tax reform in American history. It's promises made and promises kept. I mean, think about it. We cut taxes for working families. We cut taxes for job creators, businesses large and small. In fact, when we were cutting taxes, we also eliminated the individual mandate tax at the heart of Obamacare. It's gone. And President Trump's leadership has been making a difference here in Indiana and all across the country every day. Since Indiana voted to send him to the White House, businesses have created more than 3.1 million jobs, including 33,000 new jobs here in the Hoosier State alone. Manufacturers have added more than 315,000 good-paying jobs. In fact, there's been 8,000 new good-paying manufacturing jobs just here in Elkhart, Indiana. I mean, the unemployment rate hasn't been this low since the year 2000, and in fact, Elkhart County has the 5th lowest unemployment rate in America. I mean, as I stand before you today, my fellow Hoosiers, I say with absolute confidence, jobs are coming back. Confidence is back. And under President Donald Trump, America is back, and we're just getting started. But you know, despite all the progress we've made, we got a lot more work to do, men and women. But the truth is, our administration has faced unprecedented obstruction from Democrats in Congress. The truth is, Democrats have stood in the way of almost every major reform President Trump and I have put forward. It's been one obstruction after another by the Democrats, including Indiana Senator Joe Donnelly. I mean, look, Hoosiers deserve to know, time after time, when this president asked Joe Donnelly to support the policies that Indiana needs, Joe Donnelly voted no. When the time came to cut your taxes, Joe voted no. When the time came to repeal and replace the disaster of Obamacare, Joe voted no. When the time came to empower Indiana to defund Planned Parenthood, Joe voted no. You know, Joe's even thinking of voting no on Gina Haspel to be the director of the CIA, despite the fact Gina Haspel is an American patriot. It's been endorsed by CIA directors from both parties, including Indiana's own former Senator Evan Bayh. I don't know about the rest of you, but I think Indiana deserves better. My fellow Hoosiers, Indiana delivered for us in 2016, and President Trump and I know that Indiana is going to deliver in 2018 again. When we re-elect strong conservative leaders in Congress like Jackie Walorski, Larry Bouchon, and Jim Banks, when we elect new leaders in Congress like Jim Baird and a fellow named Greg Pence, and Indiana will deliver for America again when we send Mike Braun to the United States Senate this November. Mike Braun is a job creator. He built his business right here in the Hoosier State. He's a conservative who I've known for a lot of years. I know he's going to bring Indiana values to our nation's capital. And when Indiana elects him, I know Mike Braun will stand up for Hoosiers, and Mike Braun will stand with President Donald Trump. My fellow Hoosiers, I want to say from my heart, on behalf of my wife and I want to thank you for the honor you've given us to serve our state and to serve this nation as Vice President of the United States. Thank you. Karen and I will always be grateful for the support and the prayers of the people of Indiana, and we feel them every day. But looking out at all of you tonight, I just know, with your continued support, with strong conservative leaders representing Indiana in the House and the Senate, with President Donald Trump in the White House, and with God's help, we will make America prosperous again. We will make America safe again. And this man will make America great again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to you the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump.
So I want to thank your former governor and your current vice president, and he and Karen are doing an unbelievable job for our nation. Thank you, Mike. You're making Indiana proud, and we are all making America proud. We are rocking. We are rocking. So I'm thrilled to be here tonight with the incredible, hardworking patriots of the Hoosier State. Hoosier. And I don't know if you see what's going on outside, but you have a lot of people outside that want to get in, but they're not getting in because this place is packed. This place is packed. This is truly an exciting time for our country. Jobs are booming. Remember? I told you. Confidence is soaring, and optimism is at the top of every chart. This is a great time for our country. A lot of things happening every day. We are unlocking new opportunities for prosperity and for peace. All of these changes are happening because America is being respected again. at 2 a.m. early this morning. And by the way, I got back to the White House at 4:30 a.m. And somebody said, "Oh, that's okay. You can cancel Indiana Tonight." And I said, "You just don't know the people of Indiana. I don't have the courage to cancel." But at 2 o'clock in the morning, I had the incredible honor of greeting 3 brave Americans who had been held in North Korea, and we welcomed them back home the proper way. And on June 12th, in Singapore, I'll be meeting with Kim Jong-un to pursue a future of peace and security for the world, for the whole world. And the relationship is good. But you remember everybody in the fake news where they were saying, he's going to get us into a nuclear war. He's going to get us into a nuclear war. And you know what gets you into nuclear wars? And you know what gets you into other wars? Weakness. Weakness. So the relationship is good, and hopefully, I mean, for all of us, for the world, hopefully something very good is going to happen, and they understand it's very important for them, it's important for everybody. So Japan, South Korea, China, everybody, I think it's going to be a very big success. But my attitude is, and if it isn't, it isn't, okay? If it isn't, it isn't. But, and you have to have that because you don't know. We're not going to be walked into an Iran deal where the negotiator, John Kerry, refused to leave the table. What a deal. What a deal. But here at home, the great news keeps rolling in. 3.3 million new jobs since election. Now, if during the election, and by the way, how great is Coach Bobby Knight? How great? Oh, we love our coach. Remember, he came in? He called me before I was running. I didn't know him. They said, Bobby Knight's on the phone. I said, what does he want with me? I never announced. I was thinking, but I guess he read, and he said, Mr. Trump, I hope you're going to run. I said, check and see whether or not this is Coach Knight. But actually, when I heard that voice, I knew it was Coach Knight. You can't duplicate that. And I took his number, and I said, Coach, I'm thinking about it. He said, you're gonna win. If you run, and does he know about winning? And if you run, you're gonna win. So anyway, I put his number down, and I was coming to this area. By that time, we had a big lead. But they said, Indiana. And a friend of mine said, if you could get Coach Knight, that would be a great thing. I said, you know, he called me like a year ago. Let me see if I can find his number. And on my left, I had a pile of papers like this high. And I said, let me see. I lifted up thousands of pages of junk. Some actually pretty important. And I lifted it up, and there's this little thing, Bobby Knight's cell phone number. Isn't that great? Right? And I go bum 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 ba 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 ba. And he picks up the phone, and he said, "I've been waiting for you to call." Believe that? And he came here, and we sold, I don't know what the hell that arena was, but it was a big one. And they went crazy. And Lou Holtz and Coach Katie, right? Coach Katie, Lou Holtz, we had them all. Coach, by the way, not from this area, but he's one of the greats of all time, Coach Belichick, right? Great guy. We gotta love him. No, we love him. We love him. He knows how to win also. But we had a lot of coaches. They like us. They understand winning and they like us. And that's what we've been doing. And if we would have told you during the campaign that we would create 3.3 million jobs in the short time, everybody back there, the fake news media, look at all of them. They're fake news. Everybody back there would have said, "Can you imagine? He's saying we're going to create 3.3 million. Can you believe it?" We would have been, but you know what? We understand. We understand. And today, in the history of our country, just came out, right? We have the most jobs available in the history of our country. Just came out. I like that. We like that. We like that a lot because we have a truly great country, and I've been promising you those kind of numbers. The unemployment rate is at the lowest level since the turn of the century. African American unemployment has reached the lowest level in the history of our country. Remember, I used to read stats. Hispanic, African American stats. And I'd read, and it said high crime rate, lousy education, this. I'd read like 6. And one day in front of a massive crowd, 25, 30,000 people, I said, "Vote for me. What the hell do you have to lose?" And you know what? They did. They did. Remember that? And my people all said, "Oh, that was not nice." I said, "It's true." Because the Democrats, who are just obstructionists, that's all they can do. The Democrats have had a lock on the Hispanic vote, and they've had a lock on the African American vote. No longer. So the Hispanic unemployment, likewise, is the lowest, think of it, in the history of our country. It's the lowest. So you have African American, Hispanic, women. Do we love women? Women. The lowest unemployment rate in 18 years. I'm sorry we didn't make it in history, but we're catching it. It'll soon happen. I'm disappointed with that. Can you imagine? My most disappointing stat is women. It's the lowest unemployment rate in 18 years because all of the others are history. But I have a feeling the women will soon be history too because that's what's happening. And all of the great momentum that we're having as a country on jobs, on safety, on security, On our military, it's all at stake in November. You know, I don't think we've ever done better as a country. Certainly the economy and lots of other things. Look at all those beautiful red hats. Those beautiful red hats. Lift them up. Right? Boy, oh boy. And I like the white ones too. Make America great again. Lift those whites up there. But it can disappear quickly. You know, what we did was unprecedented in the history of our country, really in the history of the world, what we did with this election. And the strides that we're making have never, ever been made like this before. But it can also disappear if you put fools and if you put the wrong people in. It can disappear. I mean, Nancy Pelosi said yesterday, she wants to end the tax cuts and raise your taxes. I said, tell me, is that like good politics? You know, it's not about politics, but think of that from a political standpoint. I don't think her party was too happy. But you know what? That's her thought. That's what they want to do. They want to raise your taxes, end your tax cuts. They want to have open borders where everyone flies into our country. That's not happening. So this week, you nominated an incredible slate of Republican candidates, many of whom I know. And you have to work every day between now and November to elect more Republicans so that we continue making America great again. And by the way, this is a first for Indiana. Our new slogan for 2020, you know what it is? Keep America great. Keep America great. Because we're doing so well that in another 2 years, when we start the heavy campaign, Make America Great Again wouldn't work out too well, right? It's going to be Keep America Great, because that's exactly where we're heading. But don't tell anybody. I don't want anybody to know. We want to save that for a surprise. But I do like that. And you know what I paid for that slogan? You know, a lot of these people, the politicians they run, they pay millions of dollars for ideas like that. How much did I pay for that? Zippo, Zippo. And I have great respect for the process. But in all fairness, Obama, President Obama, paid $1.8 billion for hostages. You, not me, you, last night you saw it. And again, it's leading to some very big things. And I think that Kim Jong-un did a great service to himself, to his country, by doing this. But those hostages came out with respect. We didn't pay for them. We're going to set the table. We're going to make a great deal for the world, for North Korea, for South Korea, for Japan, for China. So what he did was the right thing. But they came out for nothing, and the others came out for $1.8 billion in cash. Can you believe that? We're honored to be joined by a friend of mine and somebody who's done a really, really good job, somebody that's respected very, very highly, Senator Todd Young. Todd. Where's Todd? Where is he? See? That's a great politician. He doesn't even want a good location. He is of the people. Thank you, Todd. We also welcome the largest vote winner in Indiana history, except for Trump. Attorney General Curtis Hill. Where's Curtis? Good man. He's done a great job. A woman who has been of tremendous help on the tax cuts, on getting rid of regulation, which maybe is just as important. Right, Jackie? What do you think? Jackie Wolarski. Jackie. Done a great job. And some congressmen who have been incredible. Larry Bouchon. Where's Larry? Larry, great job. Congressman Jim Banks. By the way, somebody that just fought an incredible campaign, a really good guy, and I'm not sure I would have been here. You know, we're talking 2 days ago. Very effective, a terrific man, Congressman Todd Rokita. Thank you, Todd. Great job, too. He fought tough. They all fought tough. That was a tough race. But we have somebody here who won that race, but we'll talk about him in a second. Let me also congratulate 2 of our new Republican nominees for Congress. First, a proud Army veteran who earned 2 Purple Hearts, Jim Baird. Jim's going to really do well. Jim. Great, Jim. And second, a man that I know Mike has been rooting for a long time. I'll tell you, Mike loves his brother, who won by a very big margin. I don't know, was that a bigger margin than Mike Pence won by? I don't know, Mike. That was a big margin. Greg Pence. Greg. Finally, a big congratulations for Indiana's new Republican nominee for the United States Senate, Mike Braun. That was a good race. Get up here, Mike. How about we let Mike for a second interrupt my speech? Is that okay? Come on, Mike. Great job.
One of the neatest experiences of my life was spending 30 minutes riding with the president. And you wouldn't believe the advice you get, and it's great advice, and I'm going to incorporate it. Yeah. You know, when I started this journey almost a year ago, I traveled the state, spent a lot of time in the north, and wanted to make sure this was going to end up with a good result. Would not have done it if I wasn't inspired by what this man did in 2016. He cleared the field systematically, and really that was the inspiration for doing it. And I can guarantee you, when I get there, I'm doing it for the right reasons. I'm a businessman and an outsider, just like our president. And you can count on me to be a true reinforcement and the guy that is going to retire Joe Donnelly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And we need Mike Braun in the Senate, and that's going to happen. That's going to happen. He's an incredible guy and ran a really incredible race. Now, if Joe Donnelly, Sleeping Joe, and the Democrats get back into power, remember what I said. They will raise your taxes. Who wants to raise your taxes? They will destroy your jobs. And they are going to knock the hell out of your borders, and that's already. We have the worst immigration laws in the history of mankind. We're slowly getting them changed. We want to make it quick. So give me some reinforcements, please, okay? Last week, as an example, the deputy chair of the Democratic National Committee, Congressman Keith Ellison, you know him? Marched in a parade wearing a T-shirt that read, he was very proud of it, "I do not believe in borders." But I have a lot of respect for Keith Ellison. You know why? Does everyone know why? So when I announced on June 16th, he was being interviewed by George Stephanopoulos on ABC. And in the interview, this was a couple of days after I announced, and Keith Ellison said, "You know he's going to win, don't you?" True. Right, Mike? He's true. He said, "You know he's going to win." And George and somebody else there, I won't mention the name. Go ahead. They smiled a little bit, respectfully. But Keith Ellison, he said, he is going to win. And essentially, he was sort of indicating, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do, and that's what we did. So, in one sense, I have to respect him. He said he's going to win. So you can never dislike a guy like that, can we? But they've got a big problem. A vote for a Democrat in November is a vote for those borders, and we have to do something strong. We are going to build the wall. We are already starting the wall. We're going to build the wall. You know, we've already started. We got $1.6 billion. We're fixing a lot of it. We're in San Diego. So here's a case study. San Diego wants the wall. And I said to my people, here's the bad news. If we give them the wall, we don't have an advocate. If we don't give them the wall, they're going to be putting a lot of pressure on Governor Moonbeam in California. Right? But you know what I did? Something I would normally not do, which means in life I'm getting nicer as I get older. I said, let's build a wall for San Diego, so we're building them the wall. I shouldn't have done it. But actually, I sort of changed my mind after we started. I called my people. I said, how much would it cost to stop building the wall in San Diego so they go out and advocate for us because they're desperate for their wall, because they don't like people running over their front yards and all of the problems, right? including, by the way, massive amounts of crime. I said, how much would it cost to stop? I'm in the construction business, is what I do best. They got back to me, they said, sir, it'll cost approximately $7 million to stop. Now, that's not big numbers when you hear about the numbers we talk about. $7 million to stop and restart it at a later date. I said, I can't do that to the American people. Keep building the wall, right? So we're building the wall, but we're getting it all done. We're going to get rid of catch and release. We're going to get rid of the lottery system. We're going to go eventually, when I get the votes, I need Republicans, we're going to go eventually to a merit-based system of immigration. Merit. You come in on merit. Your senator, Joe Donnelly, voted against enhanced vetting. Think of that. What in the world would anybody be doing voting against enhanced vetting? Why? And he opposed a measure to block illegal immigrants from getting welfare. And now you have places where they want to give college tuition to illegal immigrants, and your own kids can't get it. Your own kids can't get it. Joe Donnelly voted no on tax cuts, no on better health care, and he voted no on canceling job-killing regulations, which may be even more important than those incredible tax cuts. But he voted yes on something that we are systematically taking down. We got rid of the individual mandate. We have great plans coming out. He voted yes for failed Obamacare. And we're doing everything to keep those premiums down. But it's a failed experiment, Obamacare. But wait till you see the plans we have coming out literally over the next 4 weeks. We have great health care plans coming out, but we got rid of the individual mandate. Joe Donnelly will do whatever Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi tell him what to do. They don't ask him. They don't ask him. They tell him. They don't say, will you? They say, Joe, this is the way you're going to vote. Mike Braun will be a great, great representative of the people of Indiana. Mike Braun is a winner. Great businessman, by the way. Very successful businessman. Mike Braun will fight for the values that bind us all together as Americans. We support law and order, and we support the heroes in law enforcement. They're great. They're great. And they will tell you surplus military equipment, right? We have it by the hundreds of millions of dollars, sitting in warehouses, getting old. Some of the best stuff anywhere in the world. And past administrations said, no, we can't give that to law enforcement. Someday somebody's going to explain why, but I sort of get it. But it's not a good reason. That's about a 1% reason. We have a 99%. That equipment is being transferred all over the United States to our police and our law enforcement professionals. And we already have it. The other side said, but it's too good. It's too good. It's already paid for. We defend the Second Amendment. And don't kid yourself, it is under siege. We defend the right to self-defense. Never believe that your Second Amendment is not under siege. We believe that a strong nation must have strong borders. We have pride in our history and respect for our great American flag. And we put our large, beautiful hands on our hearts for the Pledge of Allegiance, right? And we proudly stand, all the time we stand, because we love that sound. We stand for our national anthem at all times. But if we're going to defend our values, we need people in Washington who share our values. Democrats, like Sleepin' Joe, say one thing when they're in Elkhart, and then they go to Washington and vote for the radical, liberal agenda. It never, ever fails. You know, there's about 12 of them. You think you have their vote, and they talk a good game, but they always raise their hand for the radical left of Nancy Pelosi. Always. The Center for Effective Lawmaking named Joe Donnelly the least effective Democrat lawmaker in the United States Senate. I don't know, Mike, but I think that will be a very good phrase to run by. He's never sponsored a bill that has become a law. This November, Indiana will face an important choice. You can send a really incredible swamp person back to the Senate, like Joe Donnelly, or you can send us Republicans like Mike Braun to drain the swamp. Under my administration, we're fighting against the lobbyists, the special interests, and the corrupt Washington politics. After years of rebuilding foreign countries, of which a lot of people partake in the cost of rebuilding those foreign countries, we are finally rebuilding our country. We fight to build their borders, but we don't fight and spend no money to build our borders. Figure that one out. We're fighting, and we're finally putting America first. And remember, the last time I did this, and this started 2.5 years ago when I just started, people were not saying Merry Christmas anymore. The big store chains weren't saying Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. They weren't doing it. They weren't saying Merry Christmas. Now they're saying Merry Christmas again. To bring back our jobs, we're cracking down on unfair trade. We want trade deals that are fair and, by the way, reciprocal. And we love our farmers. We're taking care of our farmers. And we love our factory workers. We love our workers. For decades, American presidents responded to foreign cheating on trade. Cheating. There's no other word for it. Cheating. They responded with silence. They didn't do anything. They were silent. Silencio. Let's not rock the boat. Oh, that's fine. We have a $100 billion trade deficit with Mexico. Think of it. $100 billion trade deficit a year with Mexico. We have a trade deficit with almost every country in the world. We're changing that around rapidly. We racked up trillions of dollars in trade deficits, also known as losses, while other countries stole our factories, stole our plants, stole our wealth, and stole our jobs. But America's long silence is over. And you see what's happening. Car companies are coming back into the United States. They're moving back in. Chrysler just announced. Japan is building big ones. We're expanding our plants. And I put tariffs on steel, and I put tariffs on aluminum, and United States Steel just announced that they're expanding their factories and they're building plants, and we're going to start making steel and aluminum again. America is respected again. Different ball game. Under my administration, we kept another important promise when we put a great new justice on the United States Supreme Court, Neil Gorsuch. And next week, after the promises of many administrations and presidents, and then they never did it. They campaigned, they promised, they never did it. Next week, we will finally open the American Embassy in Jerusalem. And I put one of my friends as the ambassador to Israel, David Friedman. A good choice is right. One of the great lawyers of our country, made a lot of money as a lawyer. But he loves Israel. He loves the United States, but he loves Israel. And they walked up to my desk about 3 months ago, right after I did it, because I said, let's go, we want to build fast. So they walk up to my desk, and they give me this beautiful folder, and I'm supposed to sign. I said, what is this? And I'm half signed. They said, sir, we're building an embassy in Jerusalem, sir. I said, how much? Something other presidents don't ask, but that's okay. They said, I kid you not, they said, sir, $1 billion. I said, $1 billion? You know what $1 billion is? You have a beautiful house that costs you about $50,000, right, to build. Hopefully it's worth a lot more than that. But that's what it costs. So I said, $1 billion? Yes, sir. We're looking for a site now. We're going to spend a lot of money on a site. Everyone's going to get rich on the embassy. So I called David. I'd stopped signing, by the way. I had Donald, D-O-N-A-L-D, and then it was like dead. Boom. And then, I don't know if they still have it. Beautiful paper, very official looking. And then, all of a sudden, I stopped, never got to the T. And I started putting X's because I was afraid that somebody could say it was my signature. And I call up our ambassador. And I said, David, this is crazy. I said, we're going to build our embassy in Jerusalem. But they want $1 billion. They're going to look for sites. Don't we have a site? He said, yeah, we have the best site. We already own it. And we have a building on the site. And I could take that building that's on the site, Mr. President, and I could take a corner of that building, a big, beautiful corner, and for $150,000, I can fix it. It'll be so beautiful. The location's better. It's set back, which is good for safety. And I can build it for $150,000. Think of that. Think of that. I said, David, so you're going to renovate the corner of a building it's going to be beautiful. The site is the best site, and we own it. The building is already built, and we can fix it. So think of it. We have government wanting to build $1 billion in a site that would never be as good or as safe, because this is a big site, big setbacks. They want setbacks for safety. Makes sense. So I said, David, you can do that from $1 billion to 150. You know what? Spend $200,000 or $300,000. That's okay too. Now think of it. And the reason I was very cognizant, because I was supposed to cut the ribbon of the new embassy in London. You know all that, sir. So we have the best piece of property in all of London. It's our embassy. And someone between the Bush administration and the Obama administration. They say Bush started it, but Obama could have stopped it. But let's say the two administrations, what they did is they said, wow, this is a great piece of property. We've been offered a lot of money, like 200 or 250 million. And what we'll do, because we're such great businessmen, what we're going to do is we're going to sell this best piece of property in London by far. By the way, literally, it's if you know New York, 5th Avenue and 57th Street. Now, I happen to have a building there, so, but that is the best one. The Tiffany location. It's the Tiffany location. It's the best location, and it's a big location, and it's the best embassy location we have in the whole portfolio. But somebody said, what a great deal. We're going to sell that for, I think, $250. So let's say to a wealthy person, and they're going to rip it down, they're going to build a hotel or do something. And we sold this thing for $250. Now, everybody in this room, because you're from Indiana, you understand life. You would say, okay, good, now you're going to build a new one for $50 million, you're going to have $200 million left over, you're going to have a nice embassy, that's okay, but it didn't work that way in government. So they sold the embassy for like around $250 million. They then went out and bought a terrible piece of land in a lousy location. And they just opened a new embassy in a bad location for $1.2 billion. What a great deal. What a great deal. So 3 months ago, I was supposed to go over to cut the ribbon on the new embassy. But I couldn't do it. I said, I'm not doing it. I won't do it. Does that make sense? I'm not going to do it. So I did. Think of that story, though. Isn't that a sad story? So much. I could give you 50 of those stories. It's all the same. It's all the same. I could give you so many. But just remember, when you see that embassy, oh, here's the other thing with the embassy. The new embassy, I said, when is it going to be open? They said, anywhere from 5 to 10 years. So I said, unless they give me an extension for the presidency. Which I don't think the fake news media would be too happy about. Wait. Actually, they would be happy, because when I'm not here, their ratings are going to sink, so they'll probably be very happy. So they said from 5 to 10 years. Now, you know when they say from 5 to 10 years, that means probably 15 or 20 years, right? So we open the embassy next week. 3 months. 3 months. 3 months. Oh, I could tell you so many of those stories, but I won't tell you anymore. We have to save some. We only have about 1,000 left. Among the many grave national security blunders of the previous administration, one of the world's worst was the disastrous Iran nuclear deal. A deal that would allow Iran to go right to the brink of nuclear weapons and ultimately, very quickly, have a nuclear weapon. And by the way, other countries in the Middle East who do have money, all of a sudden, would be looking all over the place for nuclear weapons. That was going to force a disaster. The deal also gave the regime billions of dollars. How about this? $150 billion. And $1.8 billion in green. $1.8 billion in cash, which would be used to spread bedlam and death and destruction all over the Middle East. They're all over the Middle East. And with all of that being said, who knows? Because we're putting the harshest, strongest, most stringent sanctions on Iran. And I hope to be able to make a deal with them. A good deal, a fair deal, a good deal for them, better for them, better for them. But we cannot allow them to have nuclear weapons. We must be able to go to a site and check that site. We have to be able to go into their military bases to see whether or not they're cheating. Now, of course, we're all sure they're not cheating, but just in case. The Iran deal was one of the most embarrassing agreements the United States has ever entered into. You remember the 10 sailors who were humiliated in front of the world for no reason whatsoever. But once again, Democrat Joe Donnelly served his liberal handlers in Washington, not the great people of Indiana that I know so well. He voted to save the deal 4 times. But we save the deal no longer. As we discussed another critical element of our national security, to me, probably one of the reasons we're all here in this great victory celebration is border security. We have many things to do, but we have already begun the construction of the wall, and so many other things are following. We will have those borders extremely strong, extremely powerful, and we will have laws that match the border. So if you think about it, the Democrats, they're weak on borders, weak on our military. We have, and the last deal, I had to do it. Our military was depleted. When did we need military more than we need great military right now? We got $700 billion to rebuild our military. It will be stronger than ever before. So the Democrats, they fight against the borders. They fight to raise your taxes. They want to raise your taxes. They fight for all of the things that we don't stand for. And we're going to have a great victory in 18. You watch. We're going to have a great victory. History shows that when you win the presidency, 2 years later, the party, for whatever reason, like 90% of the time, the party that wins the presidency loses on the midterms. And the reason is, I guess they get a little bit complacent. We're not getting complacent, folks. We can't. If we elect more Republicans, we can truly deliver for all of our citizens. We're going to keep the promises anyway, whether we do or whether we don't. I'm going to keep that. We have delivered, and it was said by one of these gentlemen, we have delivered, one of the only times ever, more than we promised. I have delivered more than I promised, if you think about it. We will lift millions of Americans from welfare to work, from dependence to independence, and from poverty to prosperity. We will put new steel into the spine of our country. And by the way, it will now be American-made steel. And we will breathe new hope into our communities. We will do it all with American hands, American grit, and American pride. Loyal citizens like you helped to build this country, and together we are taking back our great and beautiful country, returning power to everyday American people. These are the greatest of all people. In every action, with every decision, we will stand up for America, and we will stand up for the great state of Indiana. This is the state where generations of American patriots and pioneers plowed the fields, carved the wilderness, and worked the factories of the great American Midwest. No place like it. It's the state that gave us Notre Dame football, Hoosier basketball, and the legendary Indy 500. With your help this November, Indiana will inspire our country again. No dream is beyond our reach. Our ancestors braved the oceans. They tamed the frontiers, put down the railroads, those beautiful railroads, built up the highways, and dug out the great Panama Canal. We are the nation that won 2 world wars. And we are the nation that defeated communism and fascism and landed a man on the face of the moon. And always remember, we have picked up in wealth trillions and trillions of dollars for our country since our election, not my election, our election. And our economy, people forget, our economy is almost twice the size of any other economy of any other nation in the world. Remember that. People forget. people forget. People forget. We're not going to let them forget. As long as we are proud of who we are and what we are fighting for, we will never, ever fail. With your help, your voice, and with your vote, we will win. We will achieve victory for our country, victory for our children, and victory for this magnificent land that we all love, because we are Americans and our hearts bleed red, white, and blue. We will never give in. We will never, ever give up. And we will never stop fighting for our country, our freedom, and our flag. We are one people, we are one family, and we are one nation under God. And together we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Indiana. We love you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Amazing. It was another a beautiful electricity was flowing through the room. This place, this gymnasium was packed to the rafters, and President Trump, he delivered again. Promises made, promises kept. He covered every issue, and he reached out to the people in Indiana and from all over that came here, and they responded. And it was just another magical night, another great rally here in Indiana.
I love that he announced his new slogan for his 2020 campaign will be, Keep America Great. Is that not just awesome, Tom?
Keep America Great. That's the theme for 2020, Keep America Great. And we're just having a great time here. And
the crowd is still going crazy. I know Anna's trying to show the crowd. People are slowly starting to file out, but what an amazing, amazing rally. And once again, Aaron, can you see me? Once again, we do want to apologize for the bad quality, but if you notice, it did get better when President Trump started speaking, and that is for the reason that people stopped using their cell phones when he started speaking. It wasn't just us that had the issues. I received a message from our CEO, Joe Seals, and he let us know that the White House press, President Trump's personal press, they use the same equipment we do, and they were having just as many issues. But we're going to stick through this. I've already been talking with Joe. He's telling me all these new ideas that he's having. New, let's say, what did he say? He said new cell modems for the live view that we have. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep bringing you these rallies. And we're just going to get better, honestly. We're learning lessons. And two, Joe wanted me to mention to you all that Sorry, people were waving at me. I was getting distracted. Joe wanted me to mention to you all that even though we were having bad quality, keep in mind that our previous rallies before the past two provided internet for us. For some reason, the past two venues have not provided internet, and that's why we've had such the bad quality. Hopefully, President Trump's team will choose different venues that will provide the internet for us so that we don't have to go through this anymore. But if we do, we will be prepared for all situations.
Your donations are greatly appreciated. They will go to upgrading our equipment. We are going to get better equipment. We're going to get better and better each rally, and we're not going to give up. We're just going to keep doing the rallies, keep showing the crowds, and we're just going to keep this train going on Right Side Broadcasting. We're so proud to be a part of it, and we're proud that you're joining us and that you're so faithful and you're generous and you're loyal. And again, you can donate by clicking on the S at the bottom of the YouTube chat. Click on the S, and you can also donate on our website, rsbnetwork.com/donate. You can also make monthly donations on Patreon, patreon.com/RSBN. And those are monthly donations. You can make $1, $5, $20 and up, and you'll receive gifts from RSBN in return. So again, your support is priceless. And we really appreciate your generosity and your support today through all the glitches. And like I said, we're not giving up. We're going to keep this train going, and we're going to be pedal to the metal. And this was a great event. The people really responded here in Indiana. Like a thank you from Vice President Pence, his home state, former governor here, and of course President Trump in supporting the Republican nominee for U.S. Senate, Mike Braun from Indiana. Tara?
So one thing I do want to touch on, I noticed this is actually my second rally. I noticed this at the first rally I went to in Michigan. He touches on every aspect. He starts from the city of Elkhart, then he works his way through the city, or the state of Indiana, and then he goes and touches on the whole nation. I think that's why people love his rallies so much, because he touches on everything.
Absolutely. President Trump, one of the biggest applause lines he got was, the tariffs on steel and aluminum, because you could tell, there's a lot of blue collar workers here. They're hungry to work. They want jobs. Bring the factories back. We have skilled labor. We have people ready to go to work. And for so many years, the people have been forgotten, and the people rose up, and President Trump acknowledged them, said, that this is a movement, that we're doing this together. And it's just a great thing to see President Trump reaching out to the people and just continuing the momentum that we need to win in 2018. We need this momentum to win in November. So it starts at the grassroots. It starts right here at RSBN, just reaching out to the people, showing the whole crowds, interviewing the people, and telling the whole story. And don't forget to join us tonight. We're going to have a post wrap-up show around 11 o'clock tonight, like we usually do, the night before the rally and then the night of the rally. We do a wrap-up show where we talk about the whole evening. We just sit down and talk and have a heart-to-heart discussion. And looking forward to talking with you tonight. And this was just another memorable rally and another great evening.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to mention again that as soon as I get off the plane tomorrow, I'm meeting Joe with the little memory card so that we can upload this in high quality definition for you all. People are packing down their cameras and everything, so that's why you keep seeing people walk in front of the cameras, but that's okay. And again, I want to say thank you all to everyone who donated today. I know we missed a lot of the donations. We weren't able to pull up the chat sometimes. We weren't able to do as much reporting as we wanted to, but thank you so much for your donations. It helps so much. And for those of you who want to know, Joe has promised we're going to get even more equipment. Joe is literally amazing. He was texting me throughout the whole rally just talking about he's going to do whatever it takes. We're not going to give up. He literally said, what is it? Let me pull it up. Oh, and also, if you notice, I was trying to put as many videos as I wanted to, as I could on Twitter and everything, just so y'all would have something to look at, something I was trying to tweet. Let's see. Joe said, we aren't giving up. We'll find another way to make it work. Joe is not going to give up on this. We're going to keep coming back to the rallies no matter what, and we'll eventually figure it out. And I feel like, I wonder if we can find some people to interview. Do you think you'll be able to?
Sure.
You think so? Okay. So we're just going to try to get people as close as we can here.
This will be over here.
Aaron, let me know if you can't hear us anymore.
We have to stand in.
Yeah. Aaron, can we go outside the gate, do you think? Okay. Just want to make sure we don't lose signal. He can still hear. Okay, can you see Aaron up there?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, everyone, we have Becky. Now, she was at the last rally. Becky, what did you think of this rally?
Better and better every time. Yeah, I loved it. I loved how he was sharing about North Korea and talking about the deal that he just got out of. I mean, it's amazing. Everything that President Trump has promised us, he's delivered on.
Do you think this rally was more lively than Michigan, or do you think it was about the same?
Probably about the same, yeah.
Now, I do know that this crowd was a lot larger than in Michigan.
Yeah, it was. And originally this was scheduled at an airport hangar or something, and they had to reschedule to get more people in.
Yeah, they moved it here probably about a week ago. Now, I want to ask, were you in the front of the line today?
Yeah, I was actually around 7th in line. I got here about 4 a.m.
4 a.m. That is truly dedication. You go to all the rallies, don't you?
I do, yeah. This is actually my 9th rally.
Your 9th rally. That is amazing. Who do you come with to the rallies?
I'm part of a group that goes to the rallies, yeah.
I do remember seeing you last time. Y'all have a Twitter page called Front Row Joes, right?
Yeah, we do.
That is amazing. Well, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead. Kurt?
Okay.
Sherry.
Okay, everyone. This is Kurt and Sherry. Our cameraman is right up there. Aaron, if you want to wave, you see him? Okay, everyone. I love how y'all are matching, by the way. That is awesome.
This is the only time I'll let her match shirts with me.
That's amazing. Now, was this your first rally?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. What did you think of it?
Oh, it was awesome. It was so awesome. The crowd and the noise level, it was just so inspiring.
Yeah, my first rally was in Michigan about 2 weeks ago, and there's nothing like it, truly. Y'all plan on attending another one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Now, what did President Trump talk about tonight that surprised you the most, or that you were most excited about?
I don't know that I was surprised by anything, but some of the stats that he quoted was a little bit, enlightening as far as how many jobs he's actually, added and all that kind of stuff.
Do you have any thoughts on the whole rally?
It was just awesome. I love the whole thing.
Well, thank y'all so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Tom is out getting interviews like crazy. Tom, I'll let you do this one.
The Republican Party? Yeah. He's the chair.
You got it. You got it.
Okay, I am with, what was your name again?
Dan Holtz.
Oh, Dan Holtz, yes. You're the chairman of the Indiana Republican Republican Party, correct?
No, I would never claim to be that. I'm chairman of the Elkhart County Party.
Okay, Elkhart County, right here, locally, Elkhart County Republican Party Chairman Dan Holtz, correct?
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us on Right Side Broadcasting. So what did you think of the rally? What did you think of the evening?
It was incredible and it was historic. Growing up as a young man in Elkhart, I always saw a picture of Teddy Roosevelt on the back of a Pullman car at the Elkhart Depot. This is that kind of night that people in this city and county will remember for decades. It was really exciting, and hopefully it's the kickoff, and I believe it will be the kickoff to improving our Senate representation.
Oh, absolutely. I could feel the electricity in here tonight.
I know.
And it was so, it's such a part of Indiana being in a basketball arena.
I know.
I always think about the movie Hoosiers, and
I know.
But it was like that. It was like
I'm not sure that we have filled this building since the end of single class basketball, but we filled it tonight and probably turned away 10,000 people. It was incredible. There's incredible support for Donald Trump here. There's incredible support for the Republican Party here. There's incredible support for Mike Braun, and there's an incredible support for the issues that matter to conservatives in Indiana and around the country.
Well, that's great to hear, Dan. Like I said, it was a memorable night, and thank you for bringing a perspective to it. And
Absolutely.
It was an honor to meet you.
My pleasure.
God bless you,
Thank
and
you
God
very
bless Indiana. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Yep, take care.
Thank you. Tara?
Our cameraman Aaron is the one up there in the white hat. Okay, everyone, our viewers are watching. Please tell them your names.
My name is Sharon.
My name's Matt.
Now, the reason why I pulled Sharon aside is because, please, if you can see, check out her head, her hair. Look at the back of it. Aaron, I don't know if you can zoom in. I don't know if you could do that, but she literally has the American flag carved in her hair. Now, that is true American support. I absolutely love it. Now, was this
America?
It's your canvas for whatever event it's appropriate for.
I love it. Now, what was your favorite thing that President Trump talked about today? Either of you.
Just faith in America. I mean, we need God back in our country.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then the current events, just how, just through talking with leaders from the other countries, they brought back three Americans from North Korea. So just
I know, that was
how
amazing.
we met him at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I know, that was one of the first things he said, how he met him at 2 o'clock in the morning, and people were telling him he could cancel this tonight, but no, he was determined to be here.
Thank God, because he canceled on us 2 other times.
Well, that was during the election. So we live in Illinois where it's tricky, especially in the Chicago area.
yeah.
So there was an event in Chicago and they had to cancel it because
Well, we're definitely glad that y'all got to come to this one. What time did you get in line today?
it was early. Yeah, it was early.
Early. Now, were y'all sitting up there, or did you have a ground spot?
We were up there.
Up there. Okay, awesome. Well, we hope you enjoyed the rally. Thank you so much for stopping by and talking to us. Thank you.
Want to interview him?
You got it. We'll just take turns.
You sure? Okay, come on over. And what was your first name and where are you from?
Melissa Kaufman, Goshen, Indiana.
Okay, we're just going to be looking that way. There's a camera over there. So
Somewhere over there,
Melissa
right?
and
Melissa Clark, Elkhart, Indiana.
okay, two
Melissa
two
show.
Melissas. That's
Yeah,
easy to remember.
Melissa show.
Glenn DeYoung, Elkhart, Indiana.
Glenn, Melissa, thank you for joining us on Right Side. And what did you think of the rally?
This was fantastic to have him come back to our area and ignite our group again. Our GOP needed this little fire to just start going, and with Mike Braun, that was fantastic. You know, let him come up there, let him start talking, understand where he is, and that he's not an insider, which is what we don't want anymore. That's why we elected Trump. We don't want them anymore. They're out. Drain the swamp.
Absolutely. What did you think, Melissa?
It was absolutely fabulous to see President Trump this time come back as the president. I mean, look at the crowd that was here tonight. You can tell the average American person is sick of the Democrats. They need to go. No more Joe. He needs to go. So Sleeping Joe. He's got to go. This country needs Trump. This country needs the new blood in the system.
Absolutely.
Back them up pretty much.
Glenn?
But this is the second time I've seen Trump and Pence. We both have seen both of them twice, and this was probably the best because now they're actually president and vice president. That was awesome. And plus seeing everybody else that they brought on stage was really cool.
Yeah, I could tell. Vice President Pence being his home state, it was just a huge welcome for him, and the crowd really responded to him, and it was just awesome to see. It was just awesome to see him back at home and just speaking right to his people and thanking them. We thought, or I had mentioned that this could be a part of the thank you tour,
Yep.
because going back and thanking the state of Indiana was such a big support and carried President Trump over the hump and gave him the delegates for the Republican nomination, and then Vice President Pence helping him win the election.
Yeah.
We hated to lose him as a governor. We really did. But you know what? We'll give him up for this job.
Well, we thank you for Vice President Pence. The country thanks you.
He was
And
an awesome governor, so that kind of sucked, but this was well worth it. So he's awesome.
He's a man of the people. He used to come to this area. He was part of the Indiana Trail Riders Association. He rode horses here. He would come and know us.
Harley too.
Oh, Indiana Patriot Guard, which we're members of the Indiana Patriot Guard.
So he could look around this room and
Yeah.
recognize people from our area and say, I know them. I rode with them, whether it was horses or bikes and horsepower. It's all good.
Yep.
He would know people, and you could see he would point at you and he would talk, and you felt like, hey, we really still matter to him, So that's important.
It's great to see, and obviously, a lot of the personal connections here tonight, even acknowledging a sitting congressman. He was out right here in the middle of the gymnasium. I mean, 77,000 plus people in a middle school gymnasium. It's pretty amazing. But the people showed up, and like you said, 10,000 people outside is from what I hear. And we circled the streets right around this school. The lines went around the blocks, and everybody it was a beautiful day.
Not bad for Elkhart, Indiana, let me tell you.
I was here at 11:30, so right after work, came here. So that was pretty cool.
I got here at 10. I went over and took a picture of the protest area. I kid you not, there was 5 people.
Oh, we saw 2. There was one newscaster and 2 of them we walked by. They said hi, we said hi, and walked on.
Well, you made a great impression. You were great hosts. I want to thank you, and hopefully there's another rally here in the future.
We do too.
He'll be back for 2020. Pence won't let him forget us.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thanks again for speaking with us, and we're with Right Side Broadcasting. You can find us on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. Just Google Right Side Broadcasting Network, and thank you for your time. Thank you,
very
Melissa.
much. Have a great evening. Safe travels home.
Glenn,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be good.
Tara?
Well, Tom, I tried to find more interviews, but this place has cleared out. But I hope y'all enjoyed the few interviews we did get to give you all. And please be sure to tune in. We're going to do like a late night chat again so we can talk about the rally more and more in depth. We can answer questions and anything like that. Tom, do you want to tell everyone how to donate just real quick, like sum it up really fast?
Sure, you can donate on the Super Chat. Just click on the S at the bottom of the screen. We greatly appreciate your donations, and we're going to use it to upgrade our equipment. You can also donate online. We have a new website, rsbnetwork.com/donate. rsbnetwork.com/donate. You can donate by PayPal on the website. You can also donate, be a monthly subscriber, and donate on patreon.com. patreon.com/RSBN. You can donate on patreon.com, and you'll receive gifts for your monthly donation of as little as $1, $5, $20, $50 and up. And you'll receive gifts for your donation, which are greatly appreciated, and we appreciate your generosity and your support. And again, it has been a great, memorable evening here in Indiana. Another night I'll never forget. And Tara, it's been great to work with you too.
You too, Tom.
And we'll be seeing you again tonight at the chat, the late night chat, the post rally wrap-up show. So thank you.
Thank you so much, and we will see you tonight.
See ya.